when Lewis Hamilton made the decision to join Ferrari for the 2025 season. It wasn't just about switching teams. It was about choosing a place that could give him one last shot at the championship. A seven-time world champion doesn't make a move like this lightly. He wanted a team that had the strength, focus, and ability to match his ambition for years. Ferrari had the name, the history, and the speed, but they struggled when it came to execution. Their race strategy and pit stops often let them down. But in 2025, things started to change, slowly and quietly. Ferrari became the kind of team that Hamilton had always needed. They built something steady, something reliable, and something powerful. And at the heart of that change was their performance in the pit lane. Ferrari's pit stops had always been a problem. They were inconsistent, slow, and full of mistakes. In close races, this made the difference between winning and losing. Hamilton knew that better than anyone. He had seen his own chances at titles slip away because of poor timing and errors from the pit wall. But in 2025, under the guidance of Fred Vasseur and Diego Iverno, Ferrari finally took this weakness seriously. They began to treat pit stops as a weapon, not a risk. They trained harder. They practiced under pressure. They rotated crew members. To build a strong, flexible team, they improved their tools, their timing, and their teamwork. Suddenly, Ferrari was not just good, they were the best. In 8 out of the first 10 races in 2025, Ferrari recorded the fastest pit stop. Twice, in Saudi Arabia and Monaco, they hit an incredible 0.0 seconds. That level of speed isn't just impressive. It's a clear sign of precision, planning, and a deep understanding of what wins races. Every small detail was polished. The tire guns were tuned to perfection. The mechanics worked in perfect sync, lifting and lowering the car with zero hesitation. The moment the driver stopped, the team was already in motion. The process looked like a dance, clean, smooth, and fast. And for Hamilton, this was exactly the kind of support he had been waiting for. This shift was not an accident. It was a full transformation. Ferrari stopped making excuses and started building a system that worked every time. They used every race, every practice, every hour in the garage to improve. There were no more sloppy errors or last-minute changes. The pit wall was calm and clear. The calls were smart and confident, and Hamilton, who had once looked nervous during pit stops, now looked relaxed. He trusted the system. He trusted the people around him, and that trust gave him the freedom to focus on what he does best: drive fast and fight for wins. Hamilton's calmness in the car wasn't just about speed. It was about control. In the past, he often had to adjust his driving to make up for the team's mistakes. He had to protect his tires longer. He had to take fewer risks with strategy. But now, with Ferrari's new level of performance, he had more options. He could push harder. He could choose to pit early and go for an undercut. He could trust that his stop would be clean and fast, putting him right back into the fight. This made him more dangerous, more confident, and more focused than ever before. The impact of this new system went beyond the stopwatch. It changed the way the whole team worked. Mechanics felt proud. Engineers were more confident in their strategies. Everyone knew that if they did their job well, the results would follow, and Hamilton noticed. He started to talk differently on the radio. There was no panic, no stress, just clear, simple communication. He expected excellence and he got it. This atmosphere of calm strength began to shape the whole team. It wasn't just about Hamilton fitting into Ferrari. It was about Ferrari becoming the kind of team that Hamilton had always needed. It's easy to think that races are won with big moves, overtakes, bold strategies, and raw speed. But often, they are won in the quiet moments, in the seconds when a car is stopped in the pit lane, in the decision to change tires a lap earlier, in the small, perfect execution of a plan. That's what Ferrari is getting right in 2025. They've stopped chasing big changes and started focusing on what matters, most doing the basics better than anyone else. And that's how you win championships. Ferrari's changing culture is clear. They no longer act out of panic. They don't make promises they can't keep. They become steady, focused, and serious. This change is not loud. It doesn't come with dramatic headlines. It's quiet, but it's powerful. It shows in the way they prepare. It shows in the way they respond under pressure. And it shows in the way they treat every race as an opportunity to improve, not just a chance to win. Hamilton knows what a good team looks like. He helped build one at Mercedes. He saw how strong systems and steady leadership create long-term success, And now, he sees something familiar growing at Ferrari. It's not perfect yet, but it's getting close. Charles Leclerc has already earned 3 podiums this season, and Hamilton's first in red feels closer every weekend. Every clean pit stop, every smart call, every solid drive builds that momentum. This isn't about luck or flashes of brilliance. It's about a team that is learning how to win again. For years, people said Ferrari was too emotional, that they cracked under pressure, that they made bad calls when it mattered most. And in many cases, that was true, but 2025 has shown that a team can change, that with the right people in charge and the right attitude, even the most iconic and troubled team can turn a corner. And that's exactly what Hamilton needed, a team that didn't just rely on history, but built a future, a team that didn't just talk about success, but worked for it every day. Hamilton's relationship with the crew is also part of this story. At Mercedes, he had a deep connection with his team. They trusted him, and he trusted them. That's not something that happens overnight. But in 2025, we're starting to see that same connection forming at Ferrari. The way he talks to the engineers, the way the mechanics respond when he walks into the garage. The respect goes both ways, and that mutual belief, that's what makes great teams. There's something different about Hamilton this year. He doesn't look like a driver who is chasing the past. He looks like a man building something new, and it shows. The tension that marked his last seasons at Mercedes is gone. He looks comfortable, focused, ready. That's not just about a car. It's about the people around him. It's about knowing that every person in red is fighting just as hard as he is. That's the kind of support every driver dreams of, and Hamilton has it now. Even if he hasn't won yet in 2025, the foundation is clearly being built. That first podium in red will come, and when it does, it will be the result of all these quiet efforts. Every perfect will change, every clean release from the pit box, every long night spent in the garage working through data. Championships aren't won in one race. They are built piece by piece, moment by moment, and Ferrari is finally getting all the small pieces right. This isn't just good news for Hamilton, it's good news for Formula One. Ferrari fighting at the front, with one of the greatest drivers in history behind the wheel, is what fans around the world want to see. It brings excitement, it brings drama, and it brings hope that even in a sport as complicated as this, hard work still matters. That the quiet work in the background is just as important as the spotlight moments on track. When Hamilton finally steps onto that top step in scarlet, it won't be a surprise. It will be a result of choosing trust over noise, a result of patience, not panic, and most of all, a result of believing that the right system, the right people, and the right culture can turn a struggling team into a champion again. That's why Ferrari is becoming the team Hamilton always needed. And if they keep going like this, they might just become the team that leads him to number 8. This change at Ferrari goes beyond the stopwatch and the strategy calls. It's about building belief, something that had been missing in Maranello. For a long time, for years, Ferrari seemed to rely on its legacy to carry it forward. But that only created pressure. The culture often felt reactive, constantly responding to problems instead of preventing them. That environment was never going to work for a driver like Lewis Hamilton. He needed structure. He needed people who thought ahead. And now, under Fred Vassar's leadership, Ferrari is becoming that kind of team, one that thinks, plans, and executes with confidence. Fred Vassar's role in this transformation cannot be overstated. He came into the team not to chase headlines, but to rebuild from within. He looked at every part of Ferrari's operation, from mechanics to strategy teams, and started making quiet, focused changes. He didn't just bring in new tools or new processes. He created a new mindset, one built on responsibility, calmness, and precision. That's why Hamilton believed in him, not because of promises, but because of actions.